Last week, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty of all the charges he was being prosecuted for. This was in regard to the shooting of 3 individuals, 2 of whom died as a result in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, Rittenhouse is planning on getting an education. He's apparently taking some classes online with Arizona State University, and that has led to students from the school protesting his involvement with the institution. In fact, they want him to be banned. Members of groups called Students for Socialism, ASU, Students for Justice in Palestine, the Multicultural Solidarity Coalition, and others want the university officials to withdraw Rittenhouse from class and also ban him from the campus. As I mentioned, he is taking some classes online, nursing classes to be exact, not in person. The university, though, explained that Kyle Rittenhouse has not gone through the admissions process with ASU and is not enrolled in the Edson College of Nursing and Health Innovation. Officials said that the class for which Rittenhouse enrolled was for non-degree seeking students who might later seek admission to a degree program. And so that's what the university is saying. The real question here is, if he ends up wanting to take in-person classes at Arizona State University, should the students who are protesting him get their way and get him banned from the campus? They claim that they are afraid for their safety. If Rittenhouse goes to the university, they put out a list of demands, including making sure that they withdraw Kyle Rittenhouse from ASU, release a statement against white supremacy and racist murderer Kyle Rittenhouse, reaffirm support for the Multicultural Center on campus as a space safe from white supremacy, redirect funding from ASU PD to support the Multicultural Center and establishment of a care center on campus. And CARE stands for Campus Assault Advocacy Resources and Education Center. So they put out their very specific list of demands, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. I disagree with what they're asking for. Rittenhouse was found not guilty. We are supposed to have a system in place that tries people. If they're found not guilty, we don't then turn around and continue punishing them and continue destroying their lives. Same with people who have been convicted of crimes, who have served their time and want to go back into society to be productive members of society. They should be able to do that. So I disagree with the students here. Sorry, you don't get to be the arbiter of who can and can't come to your university based on whether or not you like them.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. I think I'm gonna come out on your side, but let me give the student side first, and then we're gonna ask you guys a poll question on this. So graphic 5 here, spokesperson for Students for Socialism ASU wrote in and said, the goal of these demands is to let the ASU administration know that we as the ASU community do not feel safe knowing that a mass shooter who has expressed violent intentions about quote unquote protecting property over people is so carelessly allowed to be admitted to school at all. Our campus is already unsafe as is, and we would like to abate this danger as much as possible. Now, Anna, that's why I think it's a tiny bit complicated here, because now any talk of safe spaces normally, I don't love that talk. It's not my thing. I get why some people want it. I don't think it's the end of the world. I wouldn't prevent safe spaces or anything along those lines. But at the same time, we play offense here. And so the right wing needs safe spaces from us, not the other way around. But in this case, it's a literal, right? He's went in with an AR-15 and created a conflict and then shot 2 people. If a guy like that is on campus, I hope he learned his lesson, but if the lesson he learned is I can get away with it, that might be an literal danger.
Yeah, look, Arizona is different from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Arizona State University, they don't have open carry. They don't allow open carry. We're not talking about a situation where there's a massive protest in a state that allows open carry. I just think the environment is different. And I think that it sets a bad precedent, right? So if the left tries banning someone they don't like because of something they did in the past from going to a university, who's to say that the right wing can't do the exact same thing? And I don't. So where is the line, right? He was found not guilty. I get it. People still disagree with what he did. I totally understand that. But I just don't think that you can have like endless punishment for someone where you literally destroy all of their opportunities moving forward, including the ability to get an education. So that's where I stand on that. And yeah. It is what it is. I don't think that the students should make the decision as to whether or not someone could be able to go to that university.
Right, but they could voice their concern, and of course I do.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying they can't voice their concern, but I don't agree with what they want to get done here.
All right, so I have one more wrinkle to this, but I wanted to make sure you guys know about the poll. It's at tyt.com/polls, which is where all the polls are. In this case is, should school administration kick Kyle Rittenhouse out of Arizona State University? It's a very simple question, yes or no, okay? And so now the other wrinkle is, when I thought about it, when the shoe's on the other foot, well, do I want O.J. Simpson somewhere where I'm attending, whether it was a college? This actually did come up back in the day when he was still a member at a bunch of country clubs, right? Because he used to be very wealthy and powerful and famous. And then those golf clubs had to have conversations about, hey, do we let him stay or do we kick him out? And people said, well, he was acquitted. And other people said, yeah, I know, but he did cut their heads off. And I don't really want to play golf next to a guy who cut people's heads off. And so those are both fair arguments. And so that's why I don't think it's that simple. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna side with your position, Anna, because as progressives, we're supposed to say, hey, if someone is acquitted or they've gone through the criminal justice system, it is what it is, and we have to move on. And so I get their concern. I wouldn't want him on my campus necessarily, right? And right now he's not. He's just doing it online, and he's not registered, and he's not enrolled. But I would, like, if they asked me to sign that petition, I probably wouldn't. But I understand their concern.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.